and the estimate that he gave us is very reasonable. Put that out to everybody if y'all want to look at it. The first one is for art and signs. And the first page is for repairing the signs and to repaint them with metallic gold paint. And he said that he thought that one of the tactile logos might be deteriorating on the back side, and he might be able to just put new backer board on it at no cost, but if he has to do the whole sign again, it would be $1,200 for that. But to do the repair and repaint both signs on both sides would be $3,200, which I thought was very reasonable. So, but I asked him, and he guarantees the work for 9 years, which I thought was very good. I also asked him to give me a cost on replacing them. Like the other companies that I got estimates from, they weren't where they could fix them. That's one their forte. So they only gave me prices for replacing. And all of them gave me this for replacing them. And if y'all want to look at it.
Thank you.
It's guaranteed for life. And the paint from different companies, they said will fade over years, but it can be repainted also. But the cost for it is a lot more than repairing what we have, which will go through. I think my next estimate for replacing them is from Dowling Signs, and that would be using that plastic, and it's right at $5,497.94. He's got 8 to 10 years as far as fading on the work. But what he replaces it, right now we have cursive writing on the our sign. You know, it's just real pretty. And replacing it, it would look more like block, like that. And just
Almost a little easier to read.
uh,
It is almost a little easier to read. Okay. Yeah. In the block.
but anyway, all the estimates that I have is using the same block, which was interesting because of the difference in prices. And you would think they would be quite different. The next one that we have an estimate using the same block is $8,450. Then the next estimate we have using the same material is $12,019.20 with $1,500 of installation. So it's quite a bit of difference in all of them. Anyway, my suggestion is, since this man knows the material, he guarantees his work, he's been around forever.
So, which one is?
You're talking
The
the
art
original,
and
correct?
signs, yeah, that did the original signs. Because of our budget being so restricted right now, that I thought maybe perhaps it would be best if we went with him. It gives us 9 years, basically, to have more money put aside to either paint it again, or repair it, or whatever. He seems to think that it's got years and years and years of use still in the sign itself. So anyway, that's what we're looking at. And if he replaces it, it also will be with the plastic.
So they're all gonna replace, they all wanna replace it with the same material.
Yeah.
When I power wash that sign, so the sign is supported in the center. You have cursive scripts and there's like support bolts every foot or two that then mount to the wall. The finish was less of a worry to me. It's actually cracked, that the plastic has cracked from, because it's only supported in the center, any torsion cracks. And what it looks like to me is that the plastic underneath is weakened by sun or time.
Sure.
So, believe me, I like the cheap idea. I'm all for cheap. But repainting, sand and repairing the letter with repainting, you know, my comment would be is, I think that we ought to look at it, because to me, it seemed very fragile when I was out there. I mean, when I was pressure washing and the thing was warping, and because it had broken in many places, you know, it wasn't supportive, so, I mean, if he's repairing it and he glues it, but I guess my point is, if the material has actually degraded due to sun and weathering, then repainting it, how can it last for that long?
Well, no, it
I mean, he's a
says on here-
professional, but,
He says on here that, we warranted the craftsmanship and quality of our signs for all non-weather related acts of God up to 5 years to include fading, chipping, general deterioration, or malfunction. Paint's guaranteed for 9 years. You know, we offer a free lifetime warranty on our work.
well, the paint is guaranteed, but the, you know, the underlying sign is,
Right, I think, knowing the fact this is the original sign that was put up, correct?
Isn't this the sign that was vandalized, so is it really the original? Or
No,
was it
this
vandalized?
is, the first one was really destroyed. It's a better way
Okay,
to
so it's
put it.
not really the original sign?
No,
then?
this is the
Okay.
one that we have now.
Right.
So,
So that's just been a few years ago,
Oh, it's been 12
Yeah,
years.
it's been a
since
while.
it was vandalized?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Because it was vandalized right after,
Vandalized, yeah.
so,
it was vandalized right after the community.
So it sounds like you got an estimate for 2 signs, we actually have 3.
no,
Yeah. So why are we only repairing the front 2 signs?
Well, because there isn't really anything wrong with the other sign, and it can't be seen. And that's just,
It can be seen.
It can be.
To light it up.
it seems like the lights kind of disappear, and the lights are lit up.
What do you mean on it?
talking about the estate sign.
Yeah. Well, we
And
need
the
a
other
sale.
thing is, if you're spending $3,000 to repair or an extra $2,000 to totally replace with a lifetime warranty, I'd go with the extra $2,000 for a lifetime warranty.
Well, that's what we're here tonight, just
Right.
decide
Well,
what
we-
we want to do.
Now that we have, all of us have the information, this will be a topic that will be discussed at our upcoming board
I
meeting.
think it's a good call.
Diane,
Well,
Money
that
budgeted for
stuff
this
there is
sign?
gonna withhold up to the sun?
That's,
I don't know of any plastic that's made that
That's-
absorbs the sun and bacon and.
Well, I think if you look at this fact, the sign that's up there right now, if it's lasted 12 years, that, in bright sunshine, I think that that's a reasonable time. It's done its time. So if we need to pay to replace it,
this is the same thing that Breckenridge has, this lettering. And also, that's a bigger picture, I don't know if y'all can see that or not.
You'll be me.
How long has it been there? And
What were you saying there?
And Lake of the Woods, this art place that we were talking about now, this company, they're the ones that did this sign here.
And that's all, that's good,
Yeah.
that we have examples, but, Eric needs to finish his comment first.
Oh, my comment is that the fact is that the sign that's originally out there now is 12 years old, or even if it's 10 years old, it gets a direct sunlight all the time. I would be one who would say we should look to replace it. I think would enhance it, and for the sake of $2,000, for which it may last 5 years, which the guy is saying. Again, $2,000 to me is money well spent to add to the beauty of the neighborhood for the fact of we're gonna make the sign now have an additional lifespan.
Right.
That would be my comment.
Two comments. One, I think we're right on. I think that the estate sign should be considered as well. To do 2 and not the 3rd is to give preference to the 2 and not the other.
Put
And
the
it-
lighting on where it
those,
belongs.
the lighting should be on that sign, that should be added into the mix. What was my other point?
Don't know.
Now, you gonna be able to put the lights on as close as that fence is to
Yes,
that wall?
because, well, the 2 of them are on our sign property, the easement that is given to us. So Jack and I actually walked out there and walked those 2 lantern spots, and somebody has smashed them into the ground. But it looks like when they put in his fence, the fence people, giving him the benefit of the doubt, stepped on those lights and broke them. But the second comment, which is the more important comment for all of you all, because these people have heard it 100 times, this is not coming out of the annual budget.
Okay.
This money comes out of money required by the state that we set aside in reserves, and our reserves are over $50,000 to maintain the assets in the common areas of this community. That's our number one financial responsibility. So there's plenty of money, it's anticipated. I think the last 10-year study noted in the back that the sign was cracked, and the person that came out and did is it the 5-year or the 10-year plan? I can't remember, but the independent consultant that came out noted that we needed to fix the lights and the signage, and that there was money in the accounts for that. So I don't think it's a question of being cheap or it being in this year's budget.
I just want to add I have 4 franchises. In our Rockville store, we had the same thing where we had the lettering taken down, repainted and redone for 1/3 the cost. And it lasted for 9 years until they changed us to batteries plus bulbs. Then we had to throw it away. But those were backlit back then before they came with the LED lighting, which we put in the heat generated by the old lights.
Yes, fluorescent.
Fluorescent really made it.
Incandescent.
It really made it, heated up, but, and we had direct sun hitting that most of the day, but it actually did shock us that we went cheap at that time, because we thought about moving the store, but we didn't, and then we ended up doing it anyhow, but it did last, just so you know.
Well, I think if we might want to consider changing companies, if that's, we're gonna replace it, because Dowling is like 4,900, and Art and Sign is like
6,300.
63, yeah. Plus the replacement of the logo if they have to at 1,200. So,
And that's a very valid point.
Do we have any references from them at all? Do we?
I pulled reference, I went out and took pictures of things that they had done, like I just showed you.
Here he is, drag him out of the woods. What's that mean?
Plus, they've done signs all over Fredericksburg for years and years and years, and I've got the back page. Also telling about them and how long they've been in business and this and that. But I really think we ought to vote on this tonight so they can get it done before winter.
Unfortunately, the 3 of us haven't had a chance to look at it yet.
Okay, well,
So, and we're only, because we need to make sure that we all understand everything, because right now I can't comprehend this.
Well,
I have to sit there and.
I would move to amend the quotes to include the estate sign. So I'll move to that. Does anybody want
what
to
do you
second
want to
it?
suggest now, which company we go with,
No.
or get estimates from?
We need to get estimates from the 3.
Well,
including
she's got
the
4,
third.
correct?
Do we want to even bother with the others since they were so out of proportion?
I would-
Yeah, I would
May I
throw
amend-
one off.
May I
yeah.
amend your thing is, I think we can say the 4th one, which is significantly higher than the other
Yeah, then
ones.
shut that.
I would be okay, I don't know if we have a motion to that, to
Okay,
talk
so we'll.
for anything, we're going to take off the list.
So amend my motion. So I move to strike the for anything vendor as too high, and then to ask the other 3 vendors to amend their bids to include the 3rd estate, the estate sign
For replacement.
for replacement.
Okay, I second that.
That's all being recorded, because I didn't get it.
Yes, we got it as all. Oh, I hope it gets on one of the 2.
Okay, thank you, Diane, for getting us there.
So we need a vote, Rick. You got to call for the vote.
Yeah, so, all right, so we have the
I have a
motion.
question for Diane, just real quick. Paint's not paint, there's all kinds of paint preparation and stuff like that. Did any of them specify they're gonna use a particular recommended paint or anything other than the color?
The only one that was going to paint would be Art and Sign,
Yeah,
and he's got it listed, I'm sorry, we should have had extra copies for y'all. to
no,
look
that's
at,
okay.
too.
I just thought it should be on the general.
He's
bid.
got sand and repair lettering and repaint with metallic gold paint, which is like this.
Yeah, well,
And-
it should probably be like a compatible paint with that, that kind of thing, right? There's so many kinds of coatings and so on. I was thinking maybe that would be an item that we would ask for people to include in their bid. That's all.
Well, this is the only one they use, this is their only,
It comes pre-formed, correct, in that
Yeah,
color,
yeah.
the plastic. I think,
Yeah.
if I may, Diane, I think where that comes is that if we were to choose to paint, we would wanna match it. But we've decided we are gonna go forward with replacement costs, and at that point, we don't need to consider the
Okay.
paint color
I
necessarily.
would, okay, well,
I think you're right. I think that
I
bonding, you're right, a very important issue.
bonding and the epoxy coating.
And how it seals.
And how it seals, that it's made for that particular expansion coefficient.
Okay.
plastic and so on.
That's very valid.
I mean, all they would have to do is say we're going to use apply a recommended
Okay.
paint, if he says that. The other ones, if it's that, or goes all the way through the plastic, it should have a UV, defeat mechanism in the plastic, so.
I'm sure it does,
Does-
since they
yeah,
guaranteed
okay.
it for 9 years. And
There you go.
So,
I
Thank you
think-
for bringing that up.
yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so to wrap this up, we have a motion to eliminate For Anything, which is the company, as too costly and amend the other three bids to include the River Club estate signs in their estimate.
For replacement, to include replacement.
To include-
For replacement.
Yes.
All right, that motion was provided by Don. Do we have a second?
Second.
Eric. We have a vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Diane?
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
Wow.
next topic.
Let's go to the foot trails or
Hold on.
footpaths, the trails.
Yeah, I'm going right down the
Oh,
list.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's the, yeah, it's used, Diane had been working on some proposals for